Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm taking you on a journey where Ragnar isn't a warrior but a scholar, and Lagertha isn't a shield maiden but a botanist. If you're a Vikings fan, this reimagined story will give you a whole new perspective on these legendary characters. So stick around till the end because there's a beautiful twist that brings everything full circle. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoy unique storytelling. Now, without wasting any time, let's dive in. But deep inside, Ragnar burns a fire, a desire for exploration, for discovery, for something more than his mundane existence. One rainy evening, while cataloging old donations in the dusty basement, Ragnar stumbles upon something extraordinary. A sealed wooden box, untouched for decades. These weren't just any letters. They spoke of a hidden island, a place where a lost civilization had preserved knowledge from across the entire world. Knowledge that the modern world had forgotten. For Ragnar, this was it. This was the adventure he'd been waiting for his entire sheltered life. The scholar was about to become an explorer. Tessie is a renowned botanist, a woman who has dedicated her entire life to finding rare medicinal plants in the most remote locations on Earth. Rainforests of the Amazon, being dead. Deserts of Africa conquered them. Mountain peaks of the Himalayas. No problem! She's strong, independent, brilliant, and has absolutely nitrogen monoxide patience for distractions. Her mission has always been clear. Find the legendary flower that could cure diseases. Modern medicine can't touch and. Guess what? Her research brings her to the same coastal town where Ragnar lives. She needs to access the old botanical records in the local library. She has no idea that this visit will change her solitary journey forever. Fefi everywhere. All over Lagertha's precious notes. She's furious. I mean, weeks of research potentially ruined by some clumsy librarian. But then Ragnar mentions something that stops her anger cold. Tea. Letters. Tea. Eisend, the lost civilization. Lagertha's eyes widen. Wait, the island H's describing matches exactly with the location in her own botanical texts. The same island where her grows after hours of heated debate, and I mean heated. They strike a deal. They'll travel to the island together. Ragnar will charter the boat. Lagertha will handle survival, each pursuing their own goal. An unlikely partnership born from spilled coffee and shared ambition. Sometimes, that's how the best adventures begin. Ragnar, who'd never been on anything bigger than a ferry, spends the first 2 days completely seasick. Man wheel. Lagertha navigates the boat with surprising skill. Turns out, she learned sailing during her Amazon expeditions. Talk about role reversal. But something magical happens during those calm evenings on the open water. They start talking. Really Tolkien.Ragnar shares his mundane life. His dreams of discovery, his fear that he'd never amount to anything special. Lagertha, for the first time in years, opens up about the loneliness behind her adventurous facade. Always traveling alone, always focused on the mission, never letting anyone in. Slowly, that wall between them begins to crack. The scholar and the botanist, two people who thought they were only partners in adventure, start to become something more. But they don't realize it yet. It's more magnificent than anything they imagined. Ancient stone structures, covered in vibrant vines. Gardens filled with plants that shouldn't exist. Flowers glowing with colors they've never seen before. This is it. This is what they've been searching for. But here's the twist. They're not alone. A small community lives on the island. These people are descendants of scholars and healers who isolated themselves centuries ago to preserve knowledge the outside world had forgotten or destroyed. The islanders are welcoming, but cautious. They explain that visitors rarely come to their shores, and when they do, most try to exploit their resources, steal their knowledge, take their plants for profit. Ragnar and Lagertha make a promise. They're different. They're here to learn, not to take. The islanders decide to trust them, and what happens next changes everything. Ragnar discovers libraries filled with texts on philosophy, science, art, and astronomy from civilizations that history forgot. Everything he ever dreamed of. Lagertha finds not just her legendary flower, but entire gardens of plants with extraordinary healing properties. Her life's work realized. But something even more important happens not through grand romantic gestures or dramatic declarations, but through quiet moments. Sad, wonder, mutual respect, late-night conversations under the stars, gentle touches while examining ancient texts, laughter over failed experiments. The scholar teaches the botanist about history and philosophy. The botanist teaches the scholar about patience and connection with nature. They complete each other in ways they never knew they needed. And with it comes an impossible choice. The islanders make a request. Please, keep our location secret. The outside world would destroy what we've built. Pharmaceutical companies would exploit our plans. Treasure hunters would raid our libraries. Rag. Nar looks at his letters, the very letters that led him here. If he publishes them, if he reveals this discovery, he could become famous, respected. Everything he ever wanted. Lagertha looks at a flower, the cure she's been searching for her entire career. If she takes it back, patents it, she could save millions of lives and become wealthy beyond imagination. But there's something more important at stake now. This sanctuary. They say, people, the trust they've been given. Under the starlit sky, sitting on that quiet beach, Ragnar and Lagertha have the most important conversation of their life, fame and fortune, or honor and integrity, their individual dreams, or something greater. Ragnar does something incredible. He burns the original letters. He seals away the exact coordinates. He keeps only his personal journals, his memories, his experience. Lagertha takes seeds and knowledge to cultivate the medicinal plants elsewhere. With full permission from the islanders, she can still help people, just in a different way. Together, they open something beautiful, a small botanical library in their coastal town, a place where Ragnar can share his love of knowledge and Lagertha can grow her healing gardens. Books and nature combined in perfect harmony. Who's liked him? And then, on a quiet morning with only the waves as witnesses, they get married on the beach. A big ceremony. No hundreds of guests. Just two people who found each other through adventure and chose each other over glory. It's simple. It's perfect. It's real. This is their new beginning. Not as a warrior and shield maiden, but as partners in life, love, and purpose. Their botanical library becomes locally famous. Students come from everywhere to learn from them, not just about plants and books, but about respect, preservation, and balance. No one knows the true source of their most remarkable plants. No one knows about the island, and that's exactly how it should be. Ragnar and Lagertha never get the glory or fame that others might have sought from such an incredible discovery. But you know what they do have, each other, a shared purpose. Students whose lives they've changed, a community they've built, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing they protected something precious, and in doing so, they found something more valuable than any treasure. A life well lived together. But the story doesn't end there. It's their 20th anniversary. Ragnar and Lagertha, now older and wiser, are working in their library like any other day. Then something remarkable happens. A young couple walks in, a historian and a marine biologist. They're asking questions, showing old maps, clearly on some kind of quest together. Ragnar and Lagertha exchange a knowing look. They see themselves in these two young people. The same fight, the same curiosity, the same dynamic. They share some knowledge, give subtle guidance, point them in interesting directions. But they keep the island's location secret, just as they promised all those years ago. Because they've learned something profound. Some treasures are meant to be discovered through the journey itself, not handed over freely. And the greatest treasure of all, it's not an island, or ancient knowledge, or a magical flower. The greatest treasure is finding someone to share the journey with. Someone who challenges you, someone who completes you, someone who helps you become the best version of yourself. Ragnar and Lagertha found that in each other, and now, watching this young couple begin their own adventure, they know the circle continues. Love, discovery, adventure. It's timeless. It's universal. It's real. So what do you think? Do you prefer this version or the original Viking saga? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this unique reimagining, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe for more creative storytelling and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. You can find all the artwork from this story in the description below if you want to use them for your own creative projects. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.